March 1944. The skies over Germany are a battlefield, a swirling maelstrom of Allied bombers and desperate Luftwaffe fighters. For Unteroffizier Erich Hartmann, a young pilot fresh from the Eastern Front, the odds are stacked against them. His Messerschmitt Bf-109 is a relic, outmatched by the swarms of American P-51 Mustangs and British Spitfires. Every sortie is a gamble, every landing a prayer. Then, the rumors begin to circulate through the fighter pilot mess halls, a new weapon, a Wunderwaffe that defies all known laws of aviation, not a jet, but a rocket. The Messerschmitt Me-163 Komet, a tiny, tailless delta-wing interceptor, powered by a liquid-fueled rocket engine. It is said to climb to 10,000 meters in under 2 minutes, faster than any aircraft in history. It is a promise of salvation, a silver bullet against the endless bomber streams. Erich, a natural-born ace with a thirst for speed, volunteers immediately. He has seen enough of the slow, grinding attrition. He craves the decisive strike, the impossible victory. He is told of its blistering speed, its unparalleled climb rate, its ability to tear through bomber formations like a phantom. This is not just a plane. It is a vision of the future, a desperate gamble to turn the tide of a losing war. But there are whispers too, dark rumors about the Komet's fuel, C-Stoff and T-Stoff, highly corrosive, volatile, and capable of dissolving human flesh on contact. A weapon as dangerous to its pilot as it is to the enemy. Erich dismisses them as propaganda, the fears of the uninitiated. He is a pilot, not a chemist. He trusts the engineers, the men who promise him the fastest wings in the world. He believes in the rocket. The training is unlike anything Erich has ever experienced. It begins not in a cockpit, but in a lecture hall with grim-faced chemists explaining the terrifying properties of the Komet's fuel. C-Stoff, a mixture of hydrazine hydrate and methanol, is the fuel. T-Stoff, highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide, is the oxidizer. Together, they ignite on contact, producing a monstrous thrust. But the danger is ever present. A leak of T-Stoff can cause spontaneous combustion. A spill on the pilot's skin means agonizing chemical burns. A crash with a full tank is not an explosion, but a catastrophic, self-consuming inferno that leaves nothing behind. The Komet is not just a rocket. It is a flying chemical bomb, and Erich is strapped directly on top of it. He learns the intricate pre-flight checks, the delicate balance of the two fuels, the precise timing required for ignition. He practices emergency procedures, including the terrifying prospect of bailing out at extreme altitudes, where the air is thin and freezing, and the ground is a distant blur. He is taught to land the Komet as a glider, its rocket fuel exhausted after only a few minutes of powered flight. The Komet has no landing gear. It lands on a retractable skid, a dangerous maneuver, even for experienced pilots. Erich's initial excitement is tempered by a growing unease. The Komet is a marvel, but it is also a death trap. He sees other pilots, their faces pale, their hands trembling as they approach the sleek, white machine. He hears the stories of training accidents, of pilots dissolved in their cockpits, of ground crews vaporized by leaking fuel. The whispers are no longer rumors, they are grim reality. He is not just flying a rocket, he is dancing with liquid fire. April 1944. Erich is finally cleared for his first operational flight. He is strapped into the tiny, cramped cockpit of the Me-163. The canopy closes with a claustrophobic click, sealing him inside a world of dials, switches, and the pervasive, acrid smell of the rocket fuels. The cockpit is Spartan, designed for speed and function, not comfort. His knees are almost touching the instrument panel. He looks at the fuel gauges, two ominous needles hovering over the red zone, C-Stoff and T-Stoff, two separate tanks, two separate dangers. He can feel the cold, corrosive liquids sloshing beneath him, a constant reminder of the volatile power he commands. The ground crew, clad in protective suits, give him a thumbs up, their faces obscured by respirators. They are as much afraid of the Komet as they are of the enemy. He goes through the pre-flight checklist, his voice calm, professional, masking the frantic beat of his heart. The Komet is towed to the runway by a small tractor, its landing gear a jettisonable dolly clattering over the concrete. He feels a strange sense of detachment, as if he is merely a passenger in this desperate gamble. He is a human fuse, waiting for ignition. He looks out at the sky, a vast, empty canvas. He imagines the bomber streams, the endless formations of B-17s and B-24s, the targets he is meant to destroy. He takes a deep breath, the air tasting metallic and artificial through his oxygen mask. This is it, the moment of truth, the promise of the rocket and the terror of the liquid fire, ignition. The command crackles in his headset. Eric presses the button, a jolt, a thunderous roar that shakes the very ground. The Komet leaps forward, accelerating with impossible speed. The world outside becomes a blur. The ground crew, the runway, the trees, all vanish in a matter of seconds. He is slammed back into his seat, the G-forces crushing him. The Komet climbs almost vertically, a screaming arrow piercing the sky. The altimeter needle spins wildly. 1,000 meters, 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters. In less than 2 minutes, he is at altitude far above the highest flying bombers. He is an angel of death, a phantom in the stratosphere. The view is breathtaking below. The world is a vast curving expanse of blue and white. Above, the inky blackness of space. He is alone, suspended between heaven and earth, a tiny speck of humanity in a machine of impossible power. The roar of the rocket engine is deafening, a constant, vibrating presence that fills his entire being. He feels a surge of exhilaration, a primal thrill of speed and power. This is what he signed up for. This is the future of air combat. He is untouchable, invincible. He is the Komet. But then, a flicker of warning on his instrument panel. A tiny, almost imperceptible tremor. A faint, acrid smell, sharper than usual. He dismisses it. Adrenaline is a powerful drug. He focuses on his mission, scanning the vast sky for the bomber streams. He is here to kill, to destroy, to save the fatherland. He is the white death from the sky. There they are. A massive formation of B-17 flying fortresses, a silver armada stretching across the sky. Hundreds of them, glinting in the sun, their defensive guns bristling. They look like slow, ponderous targets ripe for the picking. Eric dives the Komet a silent, deadly arrow. He accelerates to over 900 kilometers per h, closing the distance in seconds. He opens fire, his 230mm Mk108 cannons spitting shells. The Komet's speed is so immense that he flashes through the formation before the bomber gunners can even react. A B-17 explodes in a ball of fire, torn apart by the heavy cannon shells. Another is hit, trailing smoke and debris. He pulls up, ready for another pass. But then, silence. The thunderous roar of the rocket engine cuts out. The Komet is now a glider, its fuel exhausted. The exhilaration drains away, replaced by a chilling realization. He has only a few minutes of powered flight, and now he is a silent, vulnerable target, surrounded by hundreds of enemy aircraft. He is a ghost, drifting through the sky, his speed rapidly bleeding away. The B-17s, once his prey, are now his hunters. Their gunners, no longer surprised, are tracking him. Tracer rounds begin to streak past his canopy, bright red lines of death. He is a sitting duck, a tiny, powerless glider in a sky full of predators. He tries to evade, to jink, to dive, but the Komet, without power, is sluggish. He is no longer the fastest machine in the sky. He is just a man in a wooden coffin, falling from 10,000 meters, with hundreds of guns aimed at him. The White Death has become the hunted. The acrid smell in the cockpit is growing stronger, burning his nostrils. He looks down at his instrument panel. A tiny, almost invisible crack in the fuel line. T-Stoff. The corrosive oxidizer. It is leaking, slowly, inexorably. It is dripping onto the cockpit floor, pooling beneath his seat. Panic, cold, primal panic. He remembers the lectures, the grim warnings. T-Stoff. It dissolves everything. Rubber, plastic, flesh. He can feel a burning sensation on his leg through his flight suit. He tries to ignore it to focus on flying the Komet as a glider to find a safe landing spot. But the burning sensation intensifies, a searing pain that spreads through his leg. He looks at his gloved hand. A tiny drop of T-Stoff has landed on it. He watches in horror as the rubber of his glove begins to smoke, to melt, to dissolve. He tries to wipe it off, but it only spreads the corrosive liquid. The Komet is not just a glider, it is a ticking chemical bomb, and he is trapped inside. He is falling, silently, through the sky, surrounded by the roar of the B-17s, the distant thud of their bombs. He is no longer afraid of the enemy. He is afraid of his own machine. He is afraid of the white death that is slowly, agonizingly, consuming him from the inside out. The promise of the rocket has become a nightmare of liquid fire. The pain is unbearable. His leg is on fire. He can feel the T-Stoff eating through his flight suit, burning his skin. He struggles to maintain control of the Komet, his vision blurring, his mind screaming. He is a human torch, slowly being consumed by his own weapon. He looks down at the ground, a patchwork of fields and forests, rapidly approaching. He needs to land. He needs to escape. But the Komet is a glider, and he is losing altitude fast. He can see the runway, a tiny strip of concrete in the distance. It seems impossibly far away. He tries to jettison the canopy to bail out, but his arm is weak, his movements clumsy. The T-Stoff has weakened the mechanism. It is stuck. He is trapped. Trapped in a dissolving coffin, hurtling towards the earth. He can hear the distant chatter of his radio, the frantic voices of ground control, urging him on, giving him instructions. But their words are meaningless. He is alone, in a world of pain and fire. He is the white death, and it is claiming him. He closes his eyes, bracing for the impact. This is it, the end. Not a glorious death in combat, but a slow, agonizing dissolution. The ultimate irony of the Luftwaffe Femming crunch. Asterisk, the Komet hits the ground, skidding across the field, tearing through the grass. The impact is violent, jarring, but not explosive. The T-Stoff, though leaking, has not ignited catastrophically. The Komet comes to a halt, a broken, smoking wreck. Erich is alive, barely. He is in agony, his leg burning, his arm useless. He struggles to unstrap himself, to escape the dissolving cockpit. He can hear shouts, the sound of running feet, ground crew. They are coming for him. They pull him from the wreckage, their faces grim, their movements cautious. They know the danger of the T-Stoff. They strip him of his flight suit, revealing the horrific burns on his leg and arm. The skin is raw, blistered, already beginning to dissolve. He screams, a raw, primal sound of pain. He is rushed to the field hospital, his body racked with pain, his mind reeling from the ordeal. He survived the crash, but the Komet has left its mark. The White Death has claimed a part of him, a painful reminder of the price of speed and desperation. Erich spends months in recovery, his body slowly healing, his mind forever scarred. He is no longer the eager, confident pilot who volunteered for the Komet program. He has seen the true face of the Luftwaffe, a weapon that devours its own. He is grounded, deemed unfit for further combat. He watches from the sidelines as the war grinds to its inevitable conclusion. The Komet, despite its incredible speed, never turns the tide. Its operational difficulties, its limited range, and its terrifying fuel make it more of a liability than an asset. Only a handful of pilots ever fly it, and many do not return. Erich learns of other Komet pilots, their fates mirroring his own, or worse, pilots dissolved in their cockpits, ground crews vaporized by accidents. The Komet becomes a symbol of Germany's desperate, self-destructive gamble, a marvel of engineering, but a nightmare of logistics and human cost. He never flies again. The thrill of speed is replaced by the phantom pain in his leg, the acrid smell of T-Stoff forever etched in his memory. He is a survivor, but a haunted one, a ghost of the White Death. Years later, Erich Hartmann is an old man, living a quiet life in a rebuilt Germany. He watches documentaries about the war, about the Komet, about the desperate struggle of the Luftwaffe. They speak of its speed, its innovation, its potential. They rarely speak of the T-Stoff, of the pilots who dissolved in their cockpits, of the White Death. He sometimes visits museums where a pristine Me-163 Komet stands on display, a silent testament to a bygone era. He looks at the tiny cockpit, the sleek lines, the powerful rocket engine. He remembers the roar, the climb, the exhilaration, and he remembers the burning, the pain, the fear. He is a living ghost, a survivor of the White Death. His story is a reminder that even the most advanced technology can be a curse, that desperation can lead to self-destruction, and that the true cost of war is often paid in the most agonizing ways. His story is a whisper from the past, a warning from the White Death. The Komet was a marvel, but it was also a monster, and he was one of the few who survived its embrace.